typical paper 2 prompt that you'll find on the IB exam. The first thing I'm going to do is read it carefully, and then we're going to work through a couple of things to determine what the prompt is really asking. All writers reveal something about themselves in their writing. How far and in what ways do you find that self-revelation is an important aspect of 2 works you have studied? So the first thing that's very common is IB loves to give you a quote to start things off here, which they do here. I have no idea who said this, but great, all writers reveal something about themselves in their writing. That's not actually a question, so what the prompt is actually asking me is hidden in the second half of this prompt. The first thing I want to do is identify those question words, and these are things that you'll notice because if you take other IB classes, these are question words, operative words that appear again and again. So what this prompt is really asking me is how far and in what ways do you find that self-revelation is an important aspect of the 2 works you study? Okay, so let's get rid of some of the other junk in this prompt because I find that it's really helpful to just literally scratch out the stuff that is not going to help you answer the question. That quote, for instance, does nothing for me. You can scratch out the whole thing. The question really begins here because our key word, what this prompt is about, is self-revelation. So after I've underlined the operative questions, how far and in what ways, I delete some unnecessary material, such as the quote, and I circle the subject of this prompt. This is a prompt about self-revelation. So the question is how far and in what ways do you find that self-revelation is an important aspect of 2 works that you've studied? Again, let's make this even simpler for ourselves. Let's just trim this down. And we can delete more of this because right here, I can replace that with the 2 works that I've studied. So here's what I've done. Now if I just read the prompt, it's a lot simpler and clearer and easy for me to get diving in. How far and in what ways is self-revelation an important aspect of Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi and Running in the Family by Michael Ondaatje? My essay response is going to only be about self-revelation in those 2 books, and I've identified the 2 questions that I need to respond to. How far and in what ways is it important? So I have to first decide, is it important, yes or no, and identify how important it is. That's the how far up here. And then I've got to pick the ways that it's important. That's the second part of the question. This is what a dissected prompt will look like. Your task for next class is to do this to 6 prompts. Really simple. It shouldn't take you more than a minute or 2 per prompt, but it's just a way to dilute the prompt down to make it look like something a bit more manageable for you to tackle.